Hello. That's how we usually start.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Needles at the Ready. I'm Kevin.
I'm Ray.
Today is Saturday, September 2nd,
I know.
2023, and this is episode 94.
Oh, good job. I didn't even look.
And this is...
Wow,
yes,
we have 6 more episodes after this.
I know.
And then we had the big 100.
Correct.
I wonder if we should bring out Ethel and
No.
Carlotta again for our 100th anniversary. That might be good.
Well, you could be Carlotta.
I was Ethel. You were
Oh,
Carlotta.
I was Carlotta.
Yeah.
So,
Hi, everyone.
this is our YouTube channel where we talk about knitting, crocheting, yarn dyeing, yarn buying. Oh, man, I forgot something downstairs.
What?
Crap. I'll just show a picture of it.
Oh.
I wanted to bring the thing that I bought for blocking
Oh, yeah.
because I think that's a really good
Yeah.
thing. But
Me too.
It is what it is.
Tis what it is.
So
You could show a picture and talk about it. It's quite large.
yeah.
Yeah. Be cumbersome.
So yeah.
It's the word of the day, cumbersome.
Okay.
Okay, so welcome aboard. For all of you new viewers, thank you so much for joining us. And for all of you OGs and those that have watched us before, welcome back. It's lovely to see you. You okay?
Yeah. I was just like, what's hanging? There we go. Okay.
Okay. Welcome to the Poop Show.
I am a bit under the weather today, so we'll see how this goes.
Yes, COVID negative though.
Yeah, I took a COVID test this morning. It's negative. This just like came on yesterday at like 3.
Yeah,
So whatevs.
it's fine.
We'll make it work.
We totally will. We are enjoying
Make it
a
work.
nice, cool, relatively cool start to the day. It hasn't quite reached 70 degrees, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It did?
It
It
like
just reached
It just retched.
71 degrees. And it's been nice having some cooler temperatures. Though we are having a little slight heat wave next week, you told me.
Yeah, it's been actually really nice in the mornings. It's been below 60 most
can't
mornings,
wait
so
for
it's
that.
nice to like wake up to
Sweater
that
weather.
little chill in the air.
Yeah.
So why don't we just
Yeah, so let's start. I'm going to start off with something really special. So we haven't done a giveaway in a little bit.
we don't use that word, remember?
Right, but I'm going to set it all up before we even talk about it. If we ever do a giveaway like today on this channel and we choose a winner from YouTube, we will never announce the winner via the comments. So we will never send you a message, even if you are the winner on YouTube, saying you are the winner, please send us all of your information. That's not how we roll. We announce winners on the podcast itself, and we ask you to please reach out to us.
via email.
Email. Because last time, we've talked about this before, we were hacked a little bit. Somebody pretended to be us and was trying to solicit some information from all of you all. So
So we're not
all of
going to
you
use
all-
that G word.
No.
So we have a prize that has been sent for you all. So Ray's going to show that item.
right now.
And then we'll ask for you to leave a comment with a specific phrase. Have you chosen that said phrase?
Negatory.
Okay.
We'll think about something at some point. So this was this is incredible. So this is a sneak peek, first preview, only for you all who are watching this right now. For the rest of the public, it will be available, I think, later today, maybe tomorrow.
Let's get the deets.
So, you guys know how much I love Going Gnome. I love the little felted people and the gnomes that they have. Every year they come out with a special Gnome of the Year. This one hasn't been announced yet, and we just received this yesterday as a gift, one to give away, one to keep, which we will definitely do that. So this is the Gnome of the Year 2024, and it is a collaboration between Going Gnome and CC's Wool. And so, where did I put it?
And it's going to be available on their site on the 5th of September, which is Tuesday.
But they said they're going to do it today. So, if you all are new, we usually don't know what we're talking about, and we usually just fly by the seat of our pants. So the listing is going to go live today. But for us, you guys get first grab, okay? So, goinggnome.com. This is Jen and Melissa. They are such lovely people. We usually see them on our circuit through all of like the fiber festivals and all of those things. And so, like I said, it is a collaboration between CC's Wool and Going Gnome. And this is the limited edition 2024 Gnome of the Year. It's super cute. He's cute. So he's wrapped up in this special colorway by CC's Wool. And there is a skein of that yarn to also give away. So we will be giving away this kit plus this yarn for one of you. Oh, I said the G word.
I know.
We will be
sending this as a prize.
Correct.
For one of you.
Whew. And let's just use Gnome of the Year. So just comment down below Gnome of the Year, GNOME.
Or just gnome.
Or just gnome.
Yeah, gnome in your. Just use the word gnome in your comment, and you will be entered, and we will announce the person who will win this on the next episode.
Right. So the name of this colorway is Gnome Untangled. It's available in fingering as well as DK on CC's website. Yeah,
so it's a really
it's beautiful
dimensional green with some brown and
great description.
Other green speckles. Really, really pretty colorway.
It's a little bit reminiscent of my
Ranger cardigan.
It's
a little bit.
It's darker.
It's much darker.
Yeah. So my plan is to do my kit before the next podcast.
Such a liar.
That's my plan. Whether or not it gets done, it's still my plan. We can all have plans. It's important to make plans, something to look forward to. I won't be disappointed if I don't get it done, and I don't want anybody to at me if I don't get it done.
They will all be disappointed, so you must get it done.
We create stress for ourselves, and so I'm just throwing it out there. I would love to do this kit by the next podcast. Anyway, use the word gnome. Go check out Going Gnome if you're interested in the felting kits. I've got quite a few that are lined up for me to do. But I'm going to prioritize this one and try to get this done by the next podcast. So, Jen and Melissa, thank you guys very, very much for sending this over and giving us a sneak peek and allowing us to give a little sneak peek to all of you folk out there too. So, amaze balls. Okay, that is that. And look how cool some of these things are. Like I got the dragon kit. I want to start that too. They have all different things.
All right, so I'm going to just jump in and talk about this item that I purchased that I think is really good for knitters. I saw this on Ross from Twisted Ambition Yarns Instagram. It is called...
He's got a fun Instagram.
Yeah, it's called a Strucket. It's the 19-liter strainer bucket. And... it's really good for blocking. So look, here it is. So it sits right on your countertop. You fill it with water, your Euclid, your soak, whatever. Put your project in, let it soak, and then there's a strainer inside that you just lift up and you put it on. There's some let's see. Oh, so you can see here, you can put it on the side there, or there's these little notches on the inside so that it will go down at an angle in strain. So it's really perfect, I think, for sweaters.
And there's
a
spout on the bottom to drain out all the extra water.
Yeah. So spout on the bottom, put it right over your sink, drain out all the extra water from it. Really easy. I've used it to block a couple of items and to soak yarn after I'm dyeing it, because I do, after I wash it, I soak it in an unscented wool wash. So I can fit 15 skeins of yarn in that bucket. So
that's a lot.
And there's a much smaller one, which is really good for socks and hats. I did a shawl in it.
Oh, you know what? I need to block these socks today.
So Yeah, I need to block something
Great.
today.
We'll
too.
we'll have a blocking.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. I think it's a great little. I mean, it's pricier for a blocking thing, but for us, I think tools help, like
for
a
sure.
spin dryer and now this. It makes it really easy, especially for a sweater, because you're worried about stretching it with all that extra weight. So I thought that was a good little find.
Yeah,
and just thought I'd share it with everybody.
Great. And it's like heavy duty
plastic.
Like plastic, like thick plastic. I highly recommend. I think it's great.
Yes.
But you could also use it for like the small ones for like fruits and vegetables and stuff.
Oh,
like that
yeah,
too,
they show that on the site. Like it's not just.
It doesn't have to just be.
Correct.
That. Okay, that's wonderful. Great. Right. So what have we done these past 2 weeks?
Nothing really.
Nada. Go ahead.
I feel like we haven't done anything.
No, it's been nice.
Yeah, it's just been, life. It's just been a normal 2 weeks. There haven't been any events that we've gone to, no like birthday parties or anything like that. It's just been a relaxing-ish 2 weeks.
Agreed. I finished my class, Innovation in Business, and I'm taking the next semester off. I need a little bit of a break. So I went straight through the summer, and so I'm going to take the next semester off, which is really nice. I'm still waiting for my final grades. So far I have an A, but I had turned in 2 projects. I'm just checking now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm sure all of you want to know, but no, still haven't updated my grades, which is kind of bizarre because the grades were due like last week. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm happy that I finished that, and it's given me some more time to just like come home and hang out. That's about it.
Yeah. And then admin-y stuff.
Oh yeah.
We have, again, for everybody down below in our show notes, are a bunch of coupon codes for a bunch of makers: Trilogy Yarns, Scrappy Angel, Lila Styles, Knit Swag,
Naughty Knitting Sacks,
Modern Skein. So there's a bunch down there, so definitely take a look. It has the code and what percentage you get off of your purchase.
Which is so very generous for all of these makers. So thank you all so much for continuing to provide those coupon codes. That's really, really, really awesome.
And we have our Let's Hear It for the Boys make-along, which is still going on until the end of this month. And
I can't believe it's September 2nd.
I know. We still have some of our bags, pins, and stickers available on our website, which is needlesattheready.com. And we also have a very special coupon code for this that's available until the end of the month.
Yeah.
From Leading Men Fiber Arts. The code is NATR Boys, and it gets you 15% off your order. And they also offer free domestic shipping on orders over $20. So definitely check them out. They sent some great prizes for it, which we super appreciate.
Totally. And I believe they offer complimentary ball winding for for skeins of yarn that are greater than 50 grams.
Okay. So that's
I think that's all the admin-y stuff. I plan on the next podcast to have you. Every time I say I plan on, you kind of.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, you reacted.
I actually just shut down. So go ahead.
Now because it's nice to have some extra time without school hanging over my head, so I feel like I can make plans, which is really great. I want to go through our Ravelry and the Instagram for some of the entries for Let's Hear It for the Boys. And then as we wrap things up for the next podcast, I want to show some, highlight some of those, which I think will be really cool. So get your entries in. They don't need to be finished objects. There are 2 threads on Ravelry, one for whips and conversation and, all of those things, and the others for your finished objects. And then on Instagram, you can post both finished objects, whips, or, inspiration pictures using the hashtag NATRBoys2023.
Great.
Okay?
All right.
Okay.
So
guys, hold me to that, okay?
We're going to
I'm going to do the gnome of the year, and I'm going to get a showcase together.
All right. So let's get into some knitting.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to start with what we're wearing because we haven't been able to say that for a while.
I know.
I am wearing my Bumpy Cardigan by Maxim Cyr. It is knit out of Les Garçons British DK and the colorway Louis Shade. And then my I-cord stripes are Spin Cycle no idea of the colorway, and I
it like-
kid you not.
I want to say day camp or something, but
No,
it's not.
I've seen like 3 people recently on podcasts say this colorway name. I think Jonathan from Jonathan's Days, or Jonathan from Jonathan's Days has it. Somebody else does too. It's like, do I not? Oh, it's right here. Oh, it's all gonna fall. This is.
Okay, then
Stay ready.
Yeah, stay ready.
Oh, geez, Mother Mary Joseph.
So we need to.
Stop. We're not. Nope. So that's what this is.
So I'm gonna plan. I'm just kidding. I'm not making those plans.
I love this cardigan. It's like one of the few times I've been able to wear it. I will live in this in the fall and winter. Super easy knit. I talked about this who knows when I finished it over the summer, but yeah, love the pattern.
I love it too. I really would love for you to knit me one.
I would love to win $1 million.
Yeah, but I would love for you to knit me one.
I would love for you. You can knit.
I know I can knit. It's I have things going on.
Me too.
Okay, so I guess I'll jump into what I'm wearing as well, which is a finished object. I've been talking about this since July, I believe I cast this on, or June, maybe?
All right, so we'll jump into FOs.
I mean, you started with what we're wearing, right?
Yeah, so I'm saying now we're transitioning into FOs. I have 4.
Good. I have 2.
Okay.
Great. So, this is... You really should go first with your FOs, but I guess...
Yeah, no, you go.
It's fine. I'm just going to go because it's what I'm wearing. So, this is the Multigrain by Bare Naked Wools, Knit Spot, Ann Hansen design. It was a lovely gift pattern from our friend Robin last year to go with... and then we got yarn at Rhinebeck last year.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically for this sweater. Well, me for this sweater and Kevin for one of his sweaters. And it is the Stone Soup DK. I don't have the tag with me, but it's pretty much got everything in there. There's Rambouillet and Bison and Silk and a lot of really cool things. I did the 4th size. I have a 40-inch chest. And so the 4th size is a 43.5 inch. So I wanted this to be a very cozy, like sweatshirty, oversized kind of sweater, which is pretty much how the pattern is designed. So it's very like cozy. I love that you can wear the like a collared shirt underneath it. So I'll stand up and show you. I'm super excited with how this turned out. I don't have much room to back up and stuff, but there's a cable pattern down the side. And then it splits up here to go with the raglan on both sides. It is a, what's this?
Broken rib.
Broken rib. It is knit bottom up. I did a tubular cast on.
Cable cast on.
I did a cable cast on down the bottom here. I did a tubular bind off for the neck. I knit the sleeves first. And then I went ahead and knit the body. And then what happens here, I got a little bit nervous because the pattern seemed a little bit overwhelming for me. There was a lot of information. Her patterns are very, very well written. So I needed to just trust the pattern. What you're doing is you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're increasing. Yeah. So you're decreasing with your raglan. You're incorporating the cables into that, and then you start some neck shaping too, and at some points they all happen at the same time. But the way that it's written is that you tend to do the same things like at the same time, which is really great. So you don't have to, kind of balance a lot of that out, like, oh, what am I supposed to do here? And I wish I brought it up, but what helped me a lot for this, because it's a 4-row repeat, is that those little circular
the row counters
from Twice Shared Sheep helped me out a lot. So I would know, I'm on row 3, so I've got to do this cable, and then now I'm ready to do a decrease. And then the collar, so you bind off the collar in the front, at first, and then you work some short rows back and forth, incorporating still your raglan decreases and the cable. So you start decreasing down the cable even too, and then you bind everything off, and then you pick up for the collar again. So I think it created a really cool shape. It's almost like a square-ish, you know, in a way, which I think would look really, really nice with a collared shirt, or just like this. Like, it's very sweatshirty. It's very comfortable. You know, at first when I put it on, I have to be honest, I thought maybe it was going to be a little bit too scratchy. There are some guard hairs. You're probably not going to be able to see. But there was some like guard hairs that kind of like poked in. It reminded me a little bit of the Radari, using that Lopi. Yeah. You know, it's got the guard hairs in it. But I've been wearing this now for probably the past half an hour, maybe. And it's very, very comfortable. It's a DK weight pattern, DK weight yarn. But because of the squish, like it feels like a lot of fabric, and it feels very, very cozy. So I think it's going to be a great middle of winter wear as well, not just a transition piece. So I'm super excited with this. The pattern gives you the option to either do a V-neck or the crew neck. So I chose the crew neck, obviously. And it also has in there to do some contrasting pops of color. So you can do a contrast here at the start of the collar. You can do a contrast at the start of the sleeves. Here, I can kind of show you. I obviously opted to not do that, but I think it looks really, really neat. And that yarn is also the Stone Soup DK. This colorway is marble, so it's very, very light. But if you look closely, like there are some little pops of like extra color in there. Where did it go? It's kind of like
so well hidden you can barely see them.
Okay, so I also do have a few. Oh, here's one. Oh, you're not gonna. You can't see. Yeah, little nub. Do you have your? Are you showing your sweater? Or
no.
Oh. So, I made a few errors and I left them in. Doesn't matter. Laura, I am really sorry. Our friend Laura that we met at in Rhode Island is of the mindset that you always need to fix your mistakes. So I apologize. I know that's frustrating to you, but I left them. Matter of fact, one of my cables was done incorrectly up the side of my sweater, but I'm not going to point that out, and only I know.
I don't think you would be able to tell. Can you tell?
Oh, you can definitely tell.
Is it, so then it's that side?
You know, I thought we weren't going to point this out. So it's not. Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, okay.
See?
Oh, yeah.
But who's going to know?
I know, nobody's going to know. Your underarm.
And then some other people have always left comments. Every time I say that, I leave it's not a mistake. It's a design element, just my little signature in there. If somebody's riding a horse and they can't spot the mistake, then it doesn't matter. So,
I was like, where are you going with this?
I don't know. That's
horse?
Apparently it's a saying, right? Guys, back me up, please.
I've never heard of.
A few people have commented that before when I've said that. But I love the cozy factor of this.
Yeah.
I think
it's a fantastic sweater.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a great staple to my wardrobe, because you can dress it up or dress it down.
Right.
I think,
for sure.
And it's going to be, it'll be great. I'm really excited with the amount of positive ease that I have. I think this would look also stunning, fitted.
Oh, absolutely.
But again, I wanted that cozy, comfortable thing. There is a cardigan version of this called Whole Grain that, may eventually end up on my plate. I don't know. But there's also, Max was hinting at the idea of working on a cardigan of the...
No, he showed up.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Of the...
Single malt.
Single malt.
Which would be...
What's he calling it? Shoot, we're really terrible friends.
It's something whiskey related.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't remember.
You guys are probably all shouting at the screen. Anyway, Max.
We were literally there in person too, talking about it.
I know. Well, they just shared it on their last podcast, Happy Hour with Le Garçon, Max showed that he's working on a cardigan version of the single malt.
Yeah.
Which is a very similar stitch pattern to this. So
I know you said it. How much positive ease do you have in that?
so it's I have 3.5 inches of positive ease. I think I have a slightly more because, here's the issue that I have sometimes with swatching for things is that when you swatch, I think it gives you a good general idea. But as we knit, especially like larger garments, there's a lot of factors I think that go into play with your gauge. The weight of the sweater as it gets heavier, it pulls on those stitches, makes them longer. You get much more used to the pattern. You can kind of go on overdrive or auto drive or whatever. And I think I think your gauge can typically loosen up a little bit. So the sleeves, because this is the first thing that I knit, I think the sleeves are probably on. I haven't measured gauge. I probably should. I think that would be a good idea. But I think the sleeves are probably on gauge, especially like here. But I think my gauge loosened up significantly. Right. So while I did the 3.5 inches of positive ease, it looks like I have a little bit more than that. You know what I mean?
No. So
I don't know. But I'll measure gauge again. I think that's a really good idea. But again, I think that as you go, especially with a sweater, I think your tension and your gauge can kind of loosen up a little bit.
Even when you get towards the end of it, because now you're in a weird way, you're rushing to finish it. Mm-hmm. So you speed up a little bit, so you may tighten up or loosen up a little bit more just to get it off the needles.
And blocking, depending on the yarn, obviously makes a huge difference in evening a lot of that stuff out.
Right.
But I do, I really dislike swatching, but I think it gives you a really good general idea. But just know that, and I'm sure some of you know this, but just know as you knit things, your gauge and your tension could change, and depending on your mood too. If you knit in the morning and you're stressed out, or dark. After work, in the dark.
Well, at night, like it's darker, it's a little bit harder to your focus,
right?
The amount of focus or attention you're paying to the project,
right?
I'm not sure what I'm saying.
No, you're 100% right. Yeah. No, you did great. I think your medication's kicking in, but you're made sense. So you're great. You're doing well.
Okay.
Yeah, keep drinking your drink.
It's just tea and honey.
Just kidding.
Tea and honey. I don't even have cream
with
in it.
Jam and bread with jam. So I did the recommended needle size. So it's a US 5 for the cuffs, the hem, and the collar, and then a US 7 for the rest of the sweater. I did the cables without a cable needle, which was really great experience for me.
Yeah, I highly recommend doing it.
Yeah, I started the cable with the cable needle because I never fully grasped doing it without the needle before. And so I had the aha moment.
Yeah, I actually remember you having that.
I did. I had the aha moment. I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. So anyway, it made things go by a lot faster, and I didn't have to fumble with the extra needle. So,
and the more you do it, it's the same thing with any technique. The more you practice doing a cable without the cable needle, the easier it will become, and then it's just second nature. Right. You could just pick up and go.
And I think too, like the more you do things like cables, for example, like I knew after a little bit which direction the cables were supposed to go into, and I've done cables, cable knitting before, and during the project you know that, but then somehow you forget. I forget.
Right. Yeah.
So it takes some time for me to get back on track. But then, by the end, I was like, oh, I might have made a mistake here, and let's do it the other way. So, yeah, super chuffed with this.
Chuffed. Okay. Good job.
Thank you so much. High five. Oh, you're very warm. Do you have a fever? No.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to do mine in order of newest to oldest cast on.
This is the Kevin show now.
All right, so first up, this is a new cast on.
I can't with this.
You guys didn't see it.
I can't.
It's so cute.
I can't. Stop it.
This is the Kirby sweater. I actually have to reblock it, but this is the Kirby sweater.
It hurts my heart. It's so cute.
This is a pattern by Barocco. It is knit using Barocco. I can't. It's so damn cute.
I can't even.
Barocco Remix Light. I bought this at Knit New Haven, I think in June.
It's a little friggin'
Local
cardigan.
or May, knit in public day when we went. So June, because it was around my birthday. So this yarn, I am super impressed with it. Now
Are you chuffed?
I chuffed. I felt the yarn at Knit New Haven. They had a sample of this.
Kev.
I bought yarn for it like a year ago, a different color. Excuse me.
Do you want a cough drop?
I brought some up. Thank you, though. So this is in the color, I believe it's rose. It doesn't have a color name on the ball band, but it does on their website. So this yarn is 100% recycled fibers. It is 30% nylon, 27% cotton, 24% acrylic, 10% silk, and 9% linen. It is so fantastic to knit with, and
the
fabric is so soft.
Incredible. It's such a beautifully soft.
So here is the pattern. It's designed by Asa Bucha. Skill level says intermediate. This is the pattern. Kirby. So I just haven't added the buttons. I need to find them. I knit the
buttons will be cute, but it's even cute without the buttons.
I know.
It really is.
So I knit
or just like one button up here. How cute is that?
I know. I knit the third size, which is for 9 months. I use the recommended needles, which is a US 4 for the collar and the hems of the sleeves and the bottom. I used a US 6 for the body, which the US 6 is a 4 millimeter. The US 4 is a 3.5 millimeter. Your gauge is 23 stitches over 4 inches. After blocking, I was right on gauge. The pattern in the yoke is very easy. It comes with a chart as well as written instructions. I followed the written instructions. So that was super easy. I think the pattern's well written. The only thing that threw me off, honestly, is I just have to show you guys this. This is the final page of the pattern where, you know, it's like all the abbreviations and what they mean.
Wait, that whole thing is abbreviations?
Yeah. So I look at this as I'm like scanning the pattern. I was like, holy crap, I have to do all this? No. No. I think it's just something maybe with Barocco's patterns where they include all possible.
Oh, not just the ones that are in the
pattern, just all like abbreviations under God's green earth on the back of their pattern. Because I was looking at this and expecting to have to do all these things with
it
this
says
pattern.
Standard abbreviations and terms. That's actually a really handy page to have by itself.
Yes, but it threw me off, to be honest.
I can see why.
So, loved...
Good job reading the pattern through before you started, though.
I know. Love knitting with this. It is a DK weight pattern and yarn. You get a very generous amount of yarn in this. For the 100 grams, you get 432 yards.
Wow.
So my thought behind that is it's got to be the composition of the yarn, that the fibers in here are lighter than wool. Mm-hmm. So they're able to give you more yardage than you would from a typical 100-gram DK weight skein. Because a DK weight skein is typically like 230, I think.
Yeah, 235, something like that.
I just threw one in here.
230 to 240.
That's not a good example. Trash. Let's grab this one. Is this a good example? Yeah. So this is DK weight, 100 grams.
Beautiful skinny yarn.
I know. I got this at New England Sheep and Wool, I think. But this one doesn't give... No.
That's not the one Michael sent us?
It might be the one Michael sent us. Yeah. It has no yardage on there. Whatevs. But it's normally somewhere around like, I feel like 220 to 240 range. So you get quite a bit in this. And I just love this. I think it's such an adorable cardigan.
Yeah.
Really cute. The pattern goes up to, let's see, 24 months.
Oh, that's great.
So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sizes in there.
3, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 24 months.
Yeah. So this is going to be for our niece, Eloise. Mm-hmm. Her christening?
Yeah, their christening is
their christening. The twins' christening is at the end of the month. So this is going to be a gift at the christening. So 9 months, there'll be 4 months. I figured this is more like wintry, fall and winter, so she'll be able to get
I think it's a perfect
several
time to
months
yes.
of like easily be able to wear that for at least like 6
yes.
to 8 months.
Perfect time to give it to them. You know, as it starts getting a little bit cooler, it'll be like larger on her, and then
what I love
they grow. That's what the good thing about a cardigan. They can last a little bit longer.
The yarn is very tweedy looking. I love this.
Me too.
I actually left something else downstairs, which I meant to bring up, but I've left it down. I bought some for a sweater for myself, which we obviously won't talk about because I don't have it. But I'll probably show it next podcast.
Great. I wonder if it feels tweedy because the different fiber content takes the dye differently.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so when dyeing this, actually, there's no nylon, cotton, silk. So the only, we'll say, animal fiber in here is silk.
Well,
I know, but it's not a plant-based. So, because animal fibers and plant-based fibers are dyed differently. So, let's say...
Well, cotton's a plant fiber. Acrylic is not.
Right.
Plastic.
Nylon is not.
They all could take... Yeah, they all could take dye differently.
So cute. I highly recommend this. I think it's like a $6 pattern, if I'm not mistaken.
Well worth it, though.
Yeah. It just beautiful.
It's
just
cute.
enough lace. And the lace is super easy. There's, I think, like one row where there's a lot to do, but the rest of it's just really, really basic yarn overs and knit two togethers and SSKs. So super cute. Loved it. Now I just got to find buttons.
You got that
for
done
it.
so fast.
I knit it in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Ray came home one day from work and I haven't been sleeping well the past 2 weeks. It's like really weird. On Mondays, Tuesdays, I get up at 5 in the morning, and by like Wednesday or Thursday, it just catches up to me. So there was one day 2 weeks ago where I was just dead, pretty much, and I watched TV. I watched 2 movies. I wonder what the second one was. Whatever. And I knit this, and he came home and he's like, "Wait, you cast that on today?" I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty much like."
He did everything except for the sleeves, I think, at that point.
Yeah, for the most part. All right, so that's FO number 1. Am I going again?
Yeah, you have to.
Okay, so what's...
I mean, you don't have to, but...
So FO number 2, I don't have... I'm so unprepared, y'all. This is... I finished my At Dawn shawl by Joji Locatelli.
And that knit along is going on until the end of the month, right?
Yeah, and this is with our...
Is anybody going to meet us in Brooklyn?
Yeah, if you're going to be in Brooklyn on the 30th at Brooklyn General, leave a comment below.
Yeah, we'd love to see you.
So this is for the Joji Locatelli Summer Knit Along hosted by mYak and us. So I knit this out of mYak's...
This is so nice.
Fingering weight is 50% cashmere, right? No. 50% yak and 50%
silk.
Silk?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is At Dawn. Oops.
That's okay. It was my fault. I wasn't fast enough. I'm never fast enough. Day late and dollar short. This is gorgeous.
I love the like yin yang of it.
Same.
The opposite. So in the pattern, Joji, when she designed it, her colors were she used 2 like yellows, so a bright yellow and a gold.
Yeah.
I went with gold and blue. Do I have any of the yarn up here to tell you the names of it or no? Did I not bring up like a project bag?
You know, it's okay. I think
It is. I said it wrong,
we're
but
not professionals.
Terchase and yours began with an S, right? You had Shonda and Savitri.
Shonda and Savitri.
So,
No, you had Savitri.
So then
This might be Savitri.
Yeah. Why don't I just go to mYak's website?
There you go. Or, you know, you could always just watch the last podcast. That we talked.
I literally-
Here are mine.
No, but I left all my colors downstairs.
I know, but see
Yarns.
how organized I am? So mine is Chandra and Dakini.
So mine
Yours
is the
is
S.
Savitri.
Yes. The end cloud. Oh, not that one. All right. All right. So I'm using the Baby Yak.
Mhm.
We use Baby Yak, which is
Baby Yak
50%
silk.
Baby Yak, 50% silk. I did, and I know I'm saying it wrong. Terchace, and Savitri. So the gold is the Savitri, the blue is the correct way to say what I'm saying, Terchace. So this, if you guys remember in the last episode, I had said that I made a mistake in the gold, this area. I did too many rows here, so my short rows were a little off, and I think I pretty much figured it out. They match up pretty well. What I loved about working with this yarn,
this feels so good,
is after you block it, especially, and I could really tell in this shawl because it's knit on a very small needle compared to other shawls that I've knit. I'm used to knitting shawls on like a 4 or a US 4 or US 6. This is knit on a US 2, if I'm not mistaken, or it's like a 2 millimeter. So US 2.5, a 3 millimeter needle. So that's much smaller than I'm used to, and it felt very like dense and we'll say stiff. But once I blocked this, and I didn't pin it, I just did a blocked on blocking mats.
Look how even everything is beautiful.
Like literally opened up. Yeah. It's so like drapey and light.
I really like this fabric a lot.
I know. I love the yarn, love the fabric. I really like the shawl. It's such an interesting shape.
Yeah.
I like the little stripe detail in it.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and the only thing I said to Ray, I was like, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to wear it yet. This has to be in the front, this big piece, somehow. So we'll see.
It's nice. Outside, it's so nice.
In like knits.
I'm actually very comfortable.
Yeah, so
maybe getting a little bit warm. I might take this off soon.
This. Yeah, I liked it. I liked knitting it. It does. It's really interesting because of the short rows. You start with a ton of stitches and then you decrease. And I've said this, the first section and the last section take the longest amount of time because that's when you're working really all the stitches. But for whatever reason, once you get past that first section, it really flew off the needles. So would highly recommend. I think it's such a lovely pattern.
It's gorgeous.
And I
I'm in love with the fabric that made.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Really I wish I brought mine so you can see the difference in fabric, because I use the US 6 for my Pure Joy, and you know that one, but yeah. Lovely. Good job.
So that was my At Dawn by Joji Locatelli.
Excellent.
All right. Do you want me to go again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next up is...
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I finished these this morning. I just had to finish the
heels.
Hot
off the needles.
So these are my Woolens and Nosh socks. This is Delemhach. I knit magic loop, 64 stitches, German twisted cast on. Again, I cast on at the color change, so you get one little pop of the previous color up here. Do a twisted rib 1 by 1. When the color changes, I knit all my stitches to prevent the bumps from the pearls. I think I knit about 15 to 18 rows.
Yep.
Then I think I knit 7 to 7.5 inches this time. I wanted to try to use it all, which probably shouldn't have.
But you played yarn chicken and you
won. Played yarn. I really did. Did an afterthought heel. Then I knit my foot. It was 6.5 or 6 1/4 inches. Do my toe. With my toes, Wow,
you really did a great job matching everything up. Holy cow.
It's pretty, they're pretty close. With my toes, I decrease down until I have 16 stitches on each of my needles doing magic loop, and then I Kitchener them. So I go from 64 to 32 stitches, and then I do the same thing on my heel. But on the heel, I knit 5 rows of regular stockinette before I start my decreases. What I did here is I ran out of yarn, so I had a small little nugget left, which happened to have the blue and the beige for the second sock on it. And I actually think it's the same
Yeah,
freaking number of rows.
really
and I
good.
don't know how I did that because I had to add the yarn in. You know, like I had to stop working the blue, add in the new blue, and then work the beige. But so I did the, you know, like a bullet heel. So I used up bullseye. What the heck? I said this on Thursday. I mean, I pretty much used up all the yarn. I'd be surprised if I had more than a gram left. So there's the heel.
And I love self-striping yarn, and it's fun to add the contrasting or coordinating like heels and toes. But there's being able to use the whole thing.
Yeah,
like that's so satisfying, and I think it gives a really cool effect when you do.
I do
heel
love
like
the bullseye
that.
heel, and I think like.
And the reason why it's a bullseye is just the colors. It's not a different type of heel, Kevin.
It's just because it's striping, so it looks like a bullseye.
Yeah.
So, and we've kind of,
especially when it's on your foot, or your heel,
or when you can see it more when it's blocked and it looks right. So so I'm glad to get those off the needle, and I was very fortunate. Our friend Carrie has the skein of this, and she sent it to me in case I needed it.
Yeah.
So I don't need it. So what I'm going to do, and this is big news.
Oh yeah.
Next Thursday, our Erlbacher sock machine is shipping. Hopefully,
we may have gotten a glance of it
I'll
on
show you guys.
Instagram.
Wait, it is on the Insta.
So we ordered this machine
after Maryland
right
Sheep and
after
Wool.
Maryland Sheep and Wool. Because
so they posted this today on their Insta and said the husky blue really pops, and that's the color I ordered. I ordered husky blue, so that's going to be the color.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Of it. So what I'm going to do is once this arrives, I'm going to reach out to Aquila from the Lefty Knitter podcast, and I'm going to hope that Aquila will be super nice and give me some lessons. And
I think she should, since it's really her fault that we bought this in the first place. So it should be like a consolation kind of situation. I would love to. You're probably gonna do it while I'm at work.
And then once I know what the heck I'm doing on the machine, I'm going to make Carrie's yarn that she sent me a tube and send it back to her.
I love that.
I know.
I think it's so good.
And I already have yarn caked up right over there for my next pair of socks. And Ray and I have talked about this, and I love self-striping socks.
Me too.
Love doing vanilla socks with self-striping. But I think I found that if I'm using a tonal yarn, I prefer a pattern sock because it makes it a little more interesting. Like the self-striping, it's interesting enough that you don't need a pattern because it's like, oh, I just want to get through one more stripe.
Yes.
Where with a pattern sock, it's like, oh, let me just get through one more repeat of the pattern. So I finally have decided that I'm going to knit with one of my layer sewn clubs.
Oh, you caked it up and everything.
Yeah, it's caked up.
See. It's beautiful.
I know that's the Mysterious Squirrel colorway. So I'm going to cast on a pair of Coffee Talk socks because they're my most worn pair that's not self-striping.
It's funny, actually, my very first club or skein of yarn that I used from their club was with Coffee Talk socks.
Oh, was it?
I made Coffee Talk socks. And it's my most favorite pair of socks.
Is it speckled?
It's
or like
sparkle.
Oh yes. It was mysterious, like
it was
stag or something.
Yeah.
So day hike, Woolens and Nosh. You know we love her yarn.
We sure do.
90% Targi, 10% nylon, 3-ply, super plump.
Yes, it's my favorites.
All right. And then am I going again?
I only have one more FO left, so where are you now?
I have one FO left.
You, Christmas?
No, we are not there yet.
It's almost time.
No, it's not.
What?
It's not even fall. We're not jumping into winter.
Sweater weather. It's getting into
why
sweater
do you go
weather.
ahead?
Okay, I will go next since you've insisted. So I showed this as a half object, a hoe, last time, maybe the time before. This was a lovely gift during Maryland. That's a lie.
That is a lie.
Yeah, it's a lie. It was
Local yarn store day.
Local yarn store day. Jenny and Jill were fantastic. We had lunch with them. They presented us with a lovely sock tube.
That was a good lunch.
And a mini. It was a great lunch. Do you know?
I want that again.
Are you feeling like you want to have a cheat day today because you're not
absolutely
feeling well? Oh, great.
Today's
I'm so
absolutely
excited.
a cheat day.
Glad you're not feeling well. I'm just kidding. I'm not, but
that
you know
is so rude.
I know, I'm sorry. Okay, so last we chatted, I was unhappy with my bind off for the tubes. And let me show you. I finished both. I will show you. Here they are. I love them. I'm not sure what the main skein is, what the tube was, but this is Oink Fibers. I think it's Oink Fibers.
It is.
I'm not sure the color name because I don't have the tag with me anymore. I don't know who I am. So this was my first time using a sock tube to knit socks. We started these when Kate and Kim came over from the Knitting Posse for a little hangout, and Kate and I started our socks. I did finish these. This tube was 64 stitches, which is I usually do a 72-inch sock, but it fits me foot very, very well.
Fits me foot.
So this is what I have left over of the tube, which is quite a bit. So basically what ended up happening is I cut, you cut, oh, thanks.
So this is, for those who don't know, this is what a tube is. So what, it's 64 stitches and it makes...
Or 72.
Or 72.
Kate's was 72.
So what you do is you measure out how much you want,
So basically what I did was I measured, so the cuff was added separately. So I wanted to know how long I wanted my leg, and I added 2 inches, subtracted 2 inches from that. So if I wanted a 9-inch leg, I would measure down 7 inches. I put my markers in there to pick up my heel for an afterthought heel, then measured whatever was left for my leg or my foot before my, with another 1.5 to almost 2 inches, subtracted that as well. And then you cut this off of the top of the tube. So basically this was the tube like this, don't mind the heel. And so, kind of measure down everything, cut this out, pop that off. And then what I did was put in the afterthought heel. And my afterthought heel, I did 5 additional rows before I started my decreases. And it's decreased the exact same way as my toe. And then I picked up stitches over here, knit my toe. And then all that I had left to do was the cuff. But I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough of the contrasting color to do cuffs in both socks. So this is why I need to block it, because I used the rest of the tube and I just pulled off of the tube to knit off of instead of a ball. So just like you would, it unravels. So just like you would a sock blank. And I knit the tube. So I wanted to add a little bit of a pop in there. So I added a stripe of the contrasting color for 4 rows. And then I ended up binding this off also with the contrasting color. And when I block this, the stitches are gonna get released a little bit more because they look a little wonky. Because when you pull this out, you get that ramen noodle kind of thing. But all you need to do is soak it or block it one more time, and all the stitches relax. So then it'll even everything out. I was supposed to have done that, but it was out of sight, out of mind. I forgot to do it. So I ended up ripping out the first bind off. I had done I'm not quite sure which one I did.
Did you do Jenny's?
I might have done. And it was too wonky. Everything was it was like too stretchy for me. So I just did a sewn bind off for this. And I used the contrasting color to bind that off. So once this gets relaxed, you'll be able to see a little bit of a cool marled effect, the way that I did the sewn bind off. And it's still stretchy. It fits my foot really, really well. I got a lot of room there. And I'm very, very happy. So I think this will probably be my recipe for when I I'll use the sock as a gauge for if I do more of those sock tubes.
Yeah. So in here, just to even go to
Right.
show, so like,
oh, yep.
Here's a tube. So I would cut the tube. I started my decreases here, my toe decreases. So I would cut the tube at the same point. So probably right there. And what happens is once you cut it, you have live stitches on two ends. So you have live stitches here. You'd have live stitches down here. Put your needle in. And then from down here, you would just work a toe like you normally would on a pair of socks.
Good point. I did the toe first because there were live stitches. To your point, I did the toe first because
Then up here, you have live stitches. Like you pull out this green yarn, it's waste yarn just to get started. You have live stitches, and then you're actually knitting up your cuff, and then you bind off, and you determine where you want your heel. And you would do just like you would an afterthought heel on a normal pair of socks that you hand knit. Pick up the stitches, cut your yarn, pick it out, and then do your afterthought heel. So,
Kirby Werby, I think, has a really good...
absolutely.
Right, I think it's Kirby Werby.
Kirby Werby is who I go to.
Me too.
For afterthought.
That was my very first video to teach me the afterthought. Now I know how to do it, so I don't need to look it up again.
Yeah.
But I would highly recommend, if you just go onto YouTube or Google Kirby Werby afterthought heel, she's a really great step-by-step instructions, and with her with that method, when you're putting your needles in and you're picking out the yarn, so you basically like cut it, you pick everything out, you leave 2 stitches on either side, the unpicked, and it helps prevent any like holes from forming on the side of your sock. So I don't have any holes.
Right.
See that?
And a good note with the sock machine, and our friend Rob has one, and he's mentioned it, is that if you typically if you're a sock knitter and you knit at 72 inches, that tends to be too loose of a gauge
for a sock machine.
For a sock machine. So it's typically, if you go down and use the 64, it gives a much better fit for people who knit with 72 stitches, hand knit.
It's amazing how stretchy yarn is, and you don't realize it.
I know.
When you see it on a sock machine, it's like, oh my God, how is that expanded so much? But,
and the weight, like the weights that are on there, pulling it down in order to keep an even tension, it blows my mind.
I know. I always feel like yarn is so delicate when we're knitting it, but it can handle a lot.
It can. And I remember when I first started knitting, like I was nervous to put like my needles in the bag the same way, like to stab the yarn and it was going to break it. Now I don't give a crap, like just whatevs.
Isn't it funny? So so those were those socks. Really great, great experience. And now I feel comfortable when our sock machine comes, to cut in heels and toes and all that stuff. I think it would be great gifts. Like have a bunch of tubes and then just like you can custom.
I can't wait. Wait till you guys see all the tubes.
I hope so.
It's going to be the end of the year. Is going to be the end of the year of tubes.
I hope we get it. So anyway, I
hope we get it.
I mean, I hope we understand how to use it and we use it often. So in retrospect, I have this much left over of the mini. I probably could have gotten 2 cuffs, maybe not as long as I have here, but I probably could have gotten it. But that's okay. And then I have all of this left over as well. So maybe in a little blanket or something like that. Who were we watching? Somebody had mentioned that they purchased yarn from somebody's leftovers, I guess I
know. She did it on
I don't remember the name of her podcast, but she's lovely. She just started. She was saying Anyway, we watched a New to Us podcast, and I'm so sorry I did not write it down. I wasn't planning on talking about it, I don't think. But on Etsy, you can purchase people's like leftover, yarn scraps and things like that, all different weights and sizes and amounts. And this person had purchased from somebody's like D-stash from their scraps, and I was just thinking like we've got 2 humongous Rubbermaid bins full of leftover yarn, that it might be a really cool idea to, to go through that and maybe like list some of those or give them away or whatever. Like make cute little packages.
I'm trying to find her.
No, I know you are. I'm so sorry. I didn't.
It's golden something.
Shoot.
And
I shouldn't have said anything. I apologize.
No, and on here, I'm logged in as Needles at the Ready. On Apple TV, it's my personal YouTube account. So it's not saved.
So, anyway, that's my Kevin's still looking. He's doing a really good job. He's a good Googler.
Crap, she's from Scotland.
Yes.
She has 3 episodes out from last I saw. We watched.
She's very excited about her knitted socks.
Yep, she knit some.
You can hear some like seagulls in the background.
Yep, she knits in front of her window. Hey, I know that woman.
There's so many podcasts out there and opportunities to get inspired.
I want to find her.
I know. It's okay. Keep looking. Kevin has one more FO. How about I look while you show off your FO? What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great.
Yeah, it's golden something. Okay. All right, so this FO has almost been on the needles it's been on the needles for 11 months.
Wow.
It was living in this bag by Yarn Creative, or this bucket tote, which is huge. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my what year are we in? We're 2023. My 2022.
Here he is. Okay, so, sorry.
Go ahead.
Want me to just go?
Yeah.
Okay, it is This Thread of Gold Knitting Podcast. Oops. Pardon.
Yeah, and she just started knitting, I think, within the past, 6 months to a year.
I think she has 2 episodes out.
3.
Oh, 3 episodes.
Yeah,
now.
she has 3
I'm
episodes.
trying to
now.
skip the ads here. This was episode 1.
So it's in, I believe, episode 2 where she talks about she purchased yarn from eBay, like people's scraps from eBay. It was like a bag. What's her? Why don't you find out her actual name instead of just listen to it for a moment? So, guys, I finished my MCal from last year. It's done.
Nicole, I think that's what she said. We are so terrible at this.
Well, we didn't know that we were speaking.
I know.
But it is
She's
this
very
thread
sweet.
of gold.
She is. She's Nicole.
Nicole, so go check her out
This
because
is it.
she's a lovely knitter. All right, so here we are. This is last year's Twists and Turns by Stephen West, the 2022 MCal.
Oh God, your colors are
The 2023 MCal season is upon us, so I wanted to get this finished. So it's
so much bigger than mine.
Done.
That's what she said.
And what had happened was I was working this section.
Yeah.
And I was, picking up, working here. And then I got to about here and I didn't have enough of the gold to keep picking up. So I put it aside so that I could go and figure that out. And it took me like half an hour to figure it out and get it corrected. This is all knit using Barnyard Knits in the colors Japanese Maple.
So good.
Maybe White Pumpkin. Let's double check.
I want to be where the people are.
Oh yeah, look at me. White Pumpkin, Japanese Maple, and
This is
Gold Leaf.
really good. Looks like I'm wearing a bib.
So
I don't know how to wear this one.
I was like, why do I have a full skein of Gold Leaf? I bought 2 of each because I wasn't sure what color palette I was going to go or what was going to be my main.
Yeah.
So yeah, these were my 3 colors.
That'll make this hat.
I have another color that I bought because I bought 4 colors from her. So this is on their 75/25 merino and nylon base, 463 yards. So I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. This,
You know, you're a great knitter.
oh, thank you.
You really are. Like your stitches are so even.
I try, y'all. That's all you can do, right? So
So humble.
this is huge.
It is. It's a lot. It's really a lot bigger than my version.
This is my condiment shawl. It's barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, and
Mustard.
and some Grey Poupon. But here you go. It's very candy cane, very lush. This, if you don't know what to do with this, you could just go like this and tie it up here.
Okay, you're
Keep your ears warm.
actually, that's a good look for you. It really is.
So, yes, so I am glad to have this off the needles. It was just one of those things where I knew I had to fix something and I put it aside and I let it sit and not go back to it. And it took half an hour to fix and like 2 days to finish knitting.
Yes. And you know, it really stemmed from us having that conversation about like, do you feel stressed about your knits, like when they pile up? And Knitistry Nerds are going to be doing a live. They didn't do that yet, did they?
No, where they were going to go through their
Yeah,
lips?
they wanted to go through theirs. They were kind of inspired by that question, and talked about, you know, do languishing whips and all of the extra projects add a little stress to your life? And as a podcaster, do you feel like, you know, it adds even like a little bit more pressure? So anyway, This kind of stemmed from that conversation that we had, and I'm really happy that you finished it.
Yeah, me too. And obviously the new MCAL starting and me not being sure whether or not I wanted to do it, which I totally am now, whatever.
I'm not sure if I am.
I am. I'm a sucker for them. And I like that it's a gradient. It's 4 colors.
I know.
It's, you know, I am not, at this point in time, I'm not going to put kits together of our yarn because I don't have enough colors, I think, that go well enough together to put kits together. But I will do it, and I think I have an idea of what I'm going to use for it, but we'll see. So let's see, what can I say? So this is knit on a US 4, which is a
3.5 millimeter.
4.5. A 7 is a 4.5. A 6 is a 4. A 5 is a 3.75. And a 4 is the 3.5.
I think so.
I think that's how it goes. So somewhere around there. This section was a pain in the butt. This section's super easy. I decided to go extra long. I aggressively blocked this section only. I didn't pin any of the other sections, just here to elongate
that's good to know.
the chevron.
Maybe I should do the same. Maybe I'll reblock mine.
But the fun thing, and we say this all the time, the great thing with a Stephen West pattern, even if you're not 100% in love with that final product, you learn so much doing one of his patterns.
Yes.
You learn new techniques or new ways to do things. So that's why I like doing them. I learn stuff. I just think they're good designs to test your skills.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree. I've learned so much, and I think it's given me a lot more confidence as a knitter, don't you think? Doing some of his patterns.
I mean, especially this one, you have cables, twisted ribs, picking up stitches, which picking up stitches for some people, when you first start out, when you haven't done it, it's a little bit intimidating knowing what stitches to pick up and what the outcome's going to be. And this, I mean, I did this, this is actually cables in a weird way, and I did all of this without using a cable needle, which I was really reluctant to do because it's non-superwash and it slips and it's not grippy like a superwash.
Yes.
Or I'm sorry, this is superwash.
Right.
Apologies. There's gratitude. Because there's no grippiness to it, your stitches can slide through. So it was a little bit of a test to figure out where to pinch the yarn to make sure my stitch didn't drop and all that. But yeah, I really enjoyed working on it, and I'm glad it's off the needles. I also frogged a project. It was just a pair of like scrappy socks that I was working on, and I realized I didn't enjoy knitting them, so they're gone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Good day, sir.
I said good day. I believe that wraps up our finished object section.
It does. And now for whips, I have 1.
I have 4.
Okay, so you can go, and I'll just sit here and
All right.
finish my tea.
Let's see. Where shall we start? Let's start here. You know what? Let's start here because I didn't make much progress, but I did do like a row or two on this. This is the sockhead slouch hat that I started a couple of weeks ago. I didn't put a progress keeper in there, but I finished the ribbing, and now I am just on Stockinette City for the next 7 inches or so.
Somebody, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay.
No, I'm waiting. No, I'm jumping ahead in my head, so.
Oh. I'm knitting these using the Licka driftwood needles, 16-inch circular. My preferred size for the sockhead slouch hat is a medium. It's a free pattern, so I cast on 144 stitches, do 4 inches of 2x2 rib. I've done 1x1, I've done 1x1 twisted rib. I love the sockhead slouch because you can change it as often as you want to, or in different ways. I've also knit the ribbing shorter, you know. And then my preferred needle size is a 3mm needle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. Oh man.
Oh, here's a tip.
I'm getting so old. Oh yeah, magnifying glass?
Yeah, so I don't know if it came with, or if this was an app I got. Well, you know what I use is on the iPhone, there's a magnifier app. So if you use it, where is it?
It's here. Here.
Oh.
Wow.
3mm 2.5.
That's so handy.
So it's really hard to read. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. And it's these old eyes. Hard to read these needles, especially on Chow Goose, because it's on the metal needle and it's very light.
Well, this one's even harder than the Chow Goose.
So I use the magnifier app on my phone.
Y'all can read that.
To zoom in and read the needle size.
Yeah. The yarn. Oh, what is the yarn?
Jody Long.
Jody Long, yeah. And the color, I believe this one is Terra or Earth or something.
So it is Jody Long. It's the Alba yarn. It is 50% wool, 25% alpaca, and 25% viscose.
Thank you. And this colorway, it's a merino and alpaca luxury tweed blend, like you said.
Somebody said, and I actually agree.
Color is earth.
Very reminiscent of Rowan felted tweed.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really soft. I'm absolutely loving the pops of color in here. Look at those little blue speckles.
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna, and it's got like animal matter in it, or plant matter, not animal matter. That'd be terrible. Weird. Yeah. So I think this is gonna be a really nice rustic hat to add, and you know I like.
I don't know that it's rustic feeling though. The yarn. The yarn's very
no,
soft.
it doesn't feel rustic, but I feel like it has the look of like a nice, like rustic. You know what I mean? Like hat. So, I don't know why I always feel like I need to knit a few.
I know when you take a project out.
No, just like this one. I do love knitting in the round.
I know.
Stockinette. There's something meditative about it. So I've been focusing mostly on this sweater, and then I have a new project that I just cast on that I'll show you. But that is whip number 1. It is the Sockhead Slouch Hat by Kelly McClure. And my very favorite hat pattern ever.
Yeah, it's a really great fingering weight. I think that, you know, I would love to find another good fingering weight hat pattern that's not the muscle bar.
The issue, though, I think this is not really fingering weight yarn.
It's not.
That
to me, I believe somebody said it's sport, but it looks like it could even go DK.
So, I mean, I'm rocking and rolling with it. It is what it is. It doesn't seem like it's going to be too big for my head at all. Like, This is just the ribbing, but I like a slouchy hat too, so I wear my hat very slouchy.
And what's going to be nice about this hat is that since it is a non-superwash, it's going to go back, where my issue with the ones that I had knit is that they were superwash, so they're
No, they get to that point that it's
just too much fabric.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, and I still have more?
Yeah, because I only have one whip.
Okay. This one, I don't remember where I was, but I did finish the toe on this guy. This is another sock.
I don't even know what sock this is. Oh, yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Okay, so this is from, Ginger Snap. We got this. Oh, this was sent to us as a little, hey there, howdy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we didn't get that at Knit City.
No. This is Ginger Snap in their Lumberjack Marled sock set. Mighty Marled Fingering. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. The colorway is Kai, K-A-I. And I finished one sock, sans the heel. I did these 9-inch circular needles. Oh yeah, that's been a while, ladies and gentlemen, but I knit these on 9-inch circular needles. Kevin, did you hear what I said?
I did.
Okay. So these were knit on 9-inch circular needles. I knit my socks on a US 2.25 millimeter needle. My preferred method is cuff down. My preferred cast on is a German twisted cast on. So I did that here. I find it extremely stretchy, but it bounces right back to a beautiful edge. I striped the cuff here, and I did 2x2 rib. I made a cool. I liked the cool design, like with the stripes, because everything's so like marled.
But I think that's what, and I don't remember, somebody had mentioned that's the purpose of it. The Lumberjack sock, it's a style, and so that's why you got the 2 in. I just checked their site; they have 9 different colors for it.
Awesome, because I think that they were out of some.
Well, I don't know if they're
last time.
out of them. So I know mine somewhere. So this is another color.
That's really pretty.
This is...
I love those. I might steal those.
This is called Peapod. Is that on here? No.
Is Kai on there?
No.
All right, so anyway, I finished my socks. I wanted to make them a little bit longer, so this is going to be a nice long leg there. And then for the toe, I just decided to use the marled yarn and do my regular toe. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my heels. So these are the 2 minis that it came with. So because I striped these 2 for the cuff, and I did this one by itself for the heel, I think what I'm going to do is that bullseye striping design that Kevin did in all 3 of these colors. So I might stripe all 3 of them for my heel. Maybe start with like the black, do this in the middle, and then end with this blue marled.
Maybe do longer repeats.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
You would have to do a good, like, determine how many rows.
Yeah.
You know, you would knit.
Kind of break it up.
And then divide it by 3.
Yeah. So yeah, I finished the rest of the foot on that, and I put in the toe, and then I started, I had the cuff already done. I did the cuffs at the same time because I just wanted to make sure that I had all the measurements correctly so that they matched. And then I just picked these up again the other night, Thursday night. And I put maybe about 1 inch or so of that. So I've got a ton of this left. There's a lot of yarn here, which is great. So that's going to be kind of my like backseat sock project where there's like social knitting, that and the sock head slouch. I'm not going to prioritize either one of those. I have another priority project. And so, yeah, so that's where we are. And those are all living in my, let's hear it for the boys, 2023 bag.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, that's a lie. Yes, they are all living there, but
You had it in your madder root bag.
I did. Where is it? Here it is. And then this goes in my madder root bag, which then goes into
The Let's Hear It for the
Let's
Boys.
Hear It for the Boys. Those bags are huge.
They really are.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, you could go again.
I have 2 more.
All right.
All right. So the next one I'll talk about is crochet.
Oh,
This is a
good.
new project for me. Kevin has been dyeing a lot of tonals, and has been really trying to get a good understanding of like the recipes and how different. You want to explain like how you like what your process has been?
What I've been doing of late is when I'm testing colors, I have been testing them on minis first. And then I wrap them like this. So here's a really good example. This is the same. So let's say I'm shooting for a gold color. I test it on a mini and use whatever measurements I determine of 4 main colors: a cyan, a magenta, a yellow, and black. And then I dye it on a mini, and then I make a little swatch of it. So here is a color that I've been shooting for, and I've done 3 samples of it. So I've been trying to, and you can see, so this one is using, I think, magenta, yellow, and black at a certain saturation level. I went down by 10% on this one, and they're incredibly similar. But on this third one, I swapped out the black and used a brown instead to see the difference. So these 2 are the same saturation level, just one has black in it and one has brown in it, to see what happens. So, like in this one is...
Show your organization, because I think that's really cool.
So I'm storing them currently all in
You're being
this
very organized.
little bin. So, and these are, you know, what you would use, the bobbins you would use for floss. So like this one is Ghost Water. So I have it on here. It's also, the recipe is in like a spreadsheet, but then it's also in another app called Notions, so that I could just go back to like reference them and like, here's 2 new grays that I've messed around with.
I think it's really
Yeah,
smart.
it's super fun. And then here goes like one of these is like, and here's 3 different blues. One of these, and I forget which one, is Twilight, which I used in for the shawl. Which shawl? Zorzel. So yeah, so as I'm testing colors, oh, these are so this, a lot of y'all bought these 3 together.
They're
last
really
time,
pretty.
so
Yeah.
thank you. So this is Arrakis. This one is Sandworm, and this one is Spice.
You
So-
should write on the back of them what your color names are.
I will. But I also have,
Because I know you have the code on there,
but I also have the code in the spreadsheet, so I search for the code
Yeah.
and it pops up the color. But this is how I determined that I wanted to use these. This was another one that I dyed up at the same time, so I actually dyed these 4 on the same day to see how they would look together. And this one I just never went through and did like full skeins of. So after I'm done with the minis, I've been giving them to Ray.
And so what I've been doing with them, and I just started, and I'm taking this kind of slowly, but what I started was a granny stripe blanket. So this is what we have so far. Like Kevin said, these are the minis that he's been using after he gets enough for his bobbins. And I'm just randomly picking the different colors, throwing them kind of together. So this is what Kevin gives me. And then when I get home from work or something like that, Kevin's like, "Oh, I added more minis to your bag." But he knows how much I hate
Winding them.
winding minis. So he's been winding them for me. So here's my bag. So he just keeps adding to it. And I just randomly like choose one of these little minis, and I'm just going to keep going with this blanket. as I go. I don't have a pattern name for this. I just kind of looked up how to do a granny stripe blanket, watched a couple of videos, and saw a couple of, like I said, a couple of videos and written patterns. I do have a little bit of an issue with the ends, like at the end of the row. It's one row wants you to, crochet 2 double crochets, and then on the back end it's a different thing, so it like alternates 1 and 2. I'm just kind of making up my own thing because it was too hard for me to manage that while changing yarn. I have enough in the mini to do just one row, just one pass straight through, not a back and forth, but just one way, which I actually like the smaller stripes. I think that's going to look really cool.
Yeah, because when I'm dyeing them, I dye them on 10 gram minis.
Yep. So I love, I mean, there's a poop ton of these, but I'm tying them off as I go. Like I'm ending the row, I'm tying it off, and then when I'm adding a new color, I add it at the end of the beginning of the row, and I just chain into that, slip those stitches, chain into that, and it secures that into place, and then it'll tie at the end. So I have a lot of weaving in to do, or I can leave the fringe. No, I probably won't do that. I am going to probably put a border on it once everything is all done. So if I don't feel like weaving a lot of these in, I can crochet the border over the ends, because it's just going to be a blanket that we're going to hang out with on the couch or whatever. So yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that. It's nice to have a simple crochet project on the go, and to like pull out these colors, and then to say like, Kevin, what's that one? But we can match up that color to what he has.
Some of them I can, some of them I can't, because my notes were so bad that
in the beginning,
or I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am crocheting this on a 3.25 millimeter or a D hook. And then this is the Clover Amour set, which is my absolute favorite. I actually think I want to get some more. I'm missing some hooks, so I don't have all of the hook sizes anymore.
Well, they're probably in projects.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure half of them are in your project bags that are sitting in the dining room.
In mine?
Yeah.
Why would they be in mine?
Because you have 12 project bags downstairs, probably.
Such a liar. And I have one crochet project.
Whatevs.
And it's up here, actually.
Yeah, but you're like, can I have a crochet hook? I drop a stitch.
Then I give them back to you.
You don't give them back to me. You never do. Anyway, anywho, that is my crochet project. That is living in my prototype chip basket, the gigantic one. He does not have this size available. I'm sure that is a lot of work to make those gigantic baskets. But his large baskets are large. Yeah.
So
that's that.
All right, so I have one as well. This is living in my beautiful sister's gnome bag, which I love. See them at Woolen Folk this year.
We got those last year at Woolen Folk.
Yeah. So this is another baby sweater. I'm knitting the curvy sweater again for a different niece. Also using Remix Light. This was the first color I purchased from Knit New Haven. I don't know what this colorway is called. So same pattern. I just finished the lace section on the yoke. I'm doing an 18-month-old version. So it's definitely, and the recipient is a year old. So I figured they can get a good 6 months, if not almost a full year wear out of it. And I know I have the buttons for this somewhere, and I just don't know where I put them.
Okay.
But yes. So again, I love working with this. If you guys have not knit with Barocco Remix Light, there's also a worsted weight version of this. I think it's a great summer yarn. And it's like $14 for a skein for DK weight.
Yeah. With 432
yards. Like, you really can't go wrong with it.
No, I think it's great.
So same thing, I cast on using a US 4, and now I'm on the US 6. I have 3 rows to go, and then I'll do the buttonhole, and then it's straight knitting until, I split for sleeves, and then straight knitting until the end. Super quick knit. Super quick. So that's that. That's everything that I have. Next time there's going to be like 3 new cast-ons for the next 4 new cast-ons for the next podcast, maybe.
For you, I don't think
Yeah.
I'm casting anything on.
Yeah, I have it all
Maybe one thing
set up in my head.
Excellent. Okay, my last one is living in my Portland leather bag,
which is having a Labor Day sale, 30% off.
Oh, perfect. Did we buy anything?
No.
Okay. This is now I've finished this sweater, I'm able to cast on my next sweater, which is the House of Diamonds sweater by Maxim Sear. I planned this sweater out months ago that I wanted to do this, and I'm really trying to be much better at being intentional with yarn buying and sticking with the patterns that I wanted to do. And we had a comment, I don't know if you responded back to that, but
no, not yet.
Okay, there were some questions about do we use our our stash? Do we knit with mostly newer yarns? And I think it's a combination of both. I think our stash right now behind us, this stash is mostly made up of things that we've gotten over the past couple of years. But some of the newer things, we're knitting with those frequently. You know what I mean? So
right, because
if our stash was built with our mindset now, we probably would be...
We'd have a different stash.
We would have a different stash, first of all, yeah. So so I think it's a combination of both. Anyway, I'm planning this out. What am I doing? I'm looking for the pattern. So this is the House of Diamonds sweater by Maxim Sear. I was really excited because I wanted to use yarn from Les Garçons, and I got their British DK. I showed you the kit that I put together with Max and Vincent's help.
In
May. So this is the sweater. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love the little cartoony diamond look there. I love the colors that they put together. And it's a DK weight sweater. So here are my colors. This is Moira's Black Rose, as this is going to be the body of the sweater. This is Minnie's Wheat, which is probably one of my absolute favorite colors. It's a little bit blown out here on camera, but it's a little bit more wheaty looking.
Yeah, it's a beautiful color.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I think I was about this close to buying a sweaters quantity, but they didn't have enough when we were there. I think that was it. It was either that or Sage Advice.
Yeah, I was going to come home with this when we were in Montreal, but they didn't have... I think Vincent still needs to work on the Moira's Black Rose. And then this is the last color. This is Natural. And it's the British DK, which is... I believe it's Masham and...
This. Masham and BFL.
BFL, yes, right. 75% BFL, 25% Masham. Non-superwash DK. Yeah, same exact. Okay, so here's what I have so far. I cast this on Wednesday or Thursday, maybe? Maybe Wednesday. And I am here.
You've made a ton of progress.
So I've made some progress. You can see the diamonds are almost done with the little, little cartoony pop. This is a fold over collar, which I love that. His, Max's So Basic, I think, also has a fold. No, it doesn't have a fold over collar. There's something else that he did that had a fold over collar that I really liked. Or maybe it's the hats, his fold over brim.
The hat did, and both of the cowls did.
Yeah. I think I did a really good job with the fold over collar, and I'll show you when I'm going to turn this inside out so you can see my floats. But this is the front of the sweater. This is the back of the sweater. There are short rows in the back, which I really appreciate that built in already. You don't have to, do that after the fact or even lower down. So this way you get it out of the way. I just started adding in the Minnie's Wheat, which I love these colors together. Like seeing it,
it's going to be
a really cool sweater. I wonder if I can put this on. You think?
No, don't. Oh, jeez.
The collar is perfect. It's going to be a good fit. Yeah, that was Silly of me. Let's see. Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm great. Okay. I will tell you that the floats in here in the pattern get super long. So you either can do ladder back jacquard or you can do you can catch your floats. So I was toying with the idea of doing a ladder back jacquard because I had never done one before, but I opted just to catch the floats because they're so long. You can catch them at intervals that are not. You don't want to catch them all in the same spot, and that's what the problem is. So, say between here there are 9 stitches. I'm just making this up, right? So I usually catch my floats. I want to catch my floats every 4 to 5 stitches is usually where I'm comfortable with that long of a float. And so if every single round you're knitting 3, catching the float, knitting the rest, and then knitting 3, catching the float, you're going to be able to see your floats through there because you're catching them at the same spot. Mm-hmm. So between every stitch, you've got that line of, that extra strand of yarn that's traveling up as well. Just like you would get when you're carrying yarn up, a project. So, but my point is the floats are long enough where you can stagger them while you're catching them, and it's not a problem. That being said, I did get a little bit lazy last night. And on a couple of rows. So here's the inside of the sweater. It's kind of cool. I like the inside of a colorwork sweater. However, you can see there are some sections where I have some exceedingly long floats on here, especially along the back of the sweater, because I'm like, oh, people aren't gonna, it's fine. It's no big deal. And it's really no big deal. It really is no big deal.
It isn't, but.
So, I will probably, if it bothers me, I could always, run a needle through there or whatever. But I'm not going to wear a button-down shirt underneath this for any of those floats to get snagged on anything. If you wear buttons or, on a hat and you've got, clips in your hair or whatever. Or if you're using ring. Or a glove, right, gloves. Right. So there's going to be no color work there's a little bit of color work on the sleeve. So I'll make sure that my floats are closer together. I catch those floats a little bit more frequently so that they won't get caught on my ring or my fingernail or something like that.
I also think that catching floats helps keep your tension even.
Yeah, agreed.
It could be too loose if you don't, which can make your stitches look very loose on the colorwork side.
So I started catching my floats much more frequently down here because there was a little bit more detail. So I wanted to make sure that I secured everything and the tension was even, like Kevin said. But this is the inside of my sweater. And look at the collar. I thought I did a really good job picking up the folded.
Was it a provisional cast on or just
no? It was
up?
So it was a long tail cast on.
Okay.
Because you pick up the cast on edge.
Right.
So I guess a provisional cast on probably would have worked as well, but this yarn is so twisted.
Ooh, excuse me.
Right now. But anyway, this is the sweater. I look how.
It's going to be very nice.
Graphic that is. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm super excited about it.
I also love that what's going to be up around your face and your neck
is solid.
Is solid, but it's not the main color of the sweater. No. So that's it gives a nice contrast to it. So
I think this is such a neutral. I think it's going to look good against my skin tone.
Yeah, you have a lot of light gray. Are you going to buy another sweater's quantity of light gray?
Probably. Listen, if I'm going to do me.
You do you, boo.
And Carrie can say whatever she wants.
I didn't say Carrie. I was
just... No, but I'm saying, because Carrie's probably making comments right now, oh, here's another neutral sweater. I'm just kidding. Carrie, I love you.
So rude, Brian.
I know. But this has been my focus. I would love to have this completed by October when we go to Wollenfolk and...
Rhinebeck weekend.
And Rhinebeck, yeah.
New York sheep and wool.
New York sheep and wool.
All right, so that's
New York state of mind.
All of our projects.
I think that's it.
So and then for dyeing yarn, the only thing that I've added to the shop. Is this correct? Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Can I say one more thing?
Please go.
Thanks. I'm knitting the 4th size here with the sweater using the recommended needles. I did a swatch. I got gauge, and he recommends between 4 to 6 inches of positive ease. So I'm knitting the 4th size, which is...
Excuse me. So yawny.
That's okay. I know I'm boring. Which is 44 1/4 inch chest. So I'll have like 4 inches of positive ease on this as well. And I think in this, so here's my swatch. I promise I did swatch. And I like the fabric that it made. Like and then the stitches, they bloom really nicely.
Yeah, it's a
and
beautiful
it becomes
yarn to
very
work with.
even. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so
Thanks.
the only thing I think I've added to the shop is I went back and revisited some colors that I've done previously. So this is It's Fall Y'all on the 75% BFL, 25% nylon. So it's got some red, orange, yellow, a dark green, a light green, some white space. Like the red has the most white space, and it reminds me of taking like a bite out of
an apple.
a Red Delicious. And then the other one is Fire Pit. And this is actually, I think, different than the way I used to dye it, which is really fun to go back and revisit things.
Yeah. You've grown so much as a...
So, like, this one's going to have much longer color repeats, the way that it's dyed, and this is going to be more blended. So this is on 75-25 Superwash Merino fingering, 75-25 Superwash BFL fingering.
I love that you've started carrying BFL.
I love BFL. It's like you can feel the difference.
Yeah, but
it's like crisper.
It is crisper. That's a good. It's not rough, but it's
crisp.
Definitely crisper. It feels like it would be stronger in
Yes.
a way, like more of a rugged.
Yeah,
I agree. Not as delicate.
And it's fun to dye with it too, to see the difference of how
Look how pretty, Kev. You did such a great job.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I like this.
When I saw it hanging up when I came home, I like gasped. I was like, oh my god.
All right, so next up is Owl Post.
Okay, so if you are not interested in all of that stuff, we haven't said this in a while, but we release you into the wilds. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you. Mwah, mwah. For those of you that are interested in all of our rambling and the things that we've purchased or got sent, pull up a chair. Or refresh your drink. Go do a little tinkle.
I need to eat soon.
I do too. Okay. What do you want to do?
Let's finish this and then we can figure that out.
Okay.
All right, so Owl Post first.
Owl Post first. Okay, this was sent to us. I'm blown away. This is from Liz, Yarns by the Bay, in Melbourne, Australia. And she sent a package of some of her yarns, and the packaging that she sent, we each got one of these.
Yes.
And we got some cool bags as well. So, in here, and we'll have her shop linked down below. She's got the colorways listed in here too, but there are colorways: Crocodile Tears, Daintree, Outback Sunset, Shark Skin, Allura. I don't know what that means, but this is absolutely so soft. It's an 85% superwash, extra fine merino, and 15% nylon. It's 19.5 microns, which, for those of you who don't know, that is exceptionally soft. The higher the micron count, the
lower.
I'm sorry, the lower the micron count, the softer it is. So this is Crocodile Tears.
This is Outback Sunset.
This one is Alluri. I don't know how to say that, but I love this tonal. There's the name for those of you who need to know.
This is Shark Skin.
And there was one more. What's this one? Oh, and then this is Daintree. Look how beautiful.
Yeah, they're all incredibly
oh my gosh.
pretty and super, super soft.
Like so soft. So,
yeah, it's a beautiful base.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
And the yarn tags are really well done too.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. So thank you all so much. I think
Yes, thank you, Liz, right?
Yeah, Liz. Yeah.
And then we're the
And then I have the
bags.
bags too. Wait till you see these bags. Oh god, these are it's like so incredibly soft. Please check her out. All right. So, these bags are made by indigenous people. Oops. Some candy in there as well.
Some indigenous
I'm not going to open
makers.
this part. Mine, but you can show yours. They're the same.
Yeah, so this one, it has a tag on here.
With the person that actually made the bag.
Yeah, so here's the bag. Right, really cute.
Really cute.
So it has a zipper on the back. So you have a nice little pocket on the back.
Yep.
You have your zipper on for the interior with like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 sleeves, kind of. So you have like, you can put some things here, and then you have the big pocket overall.
So Liz says that, I mean, you can use this for anything, but she uses it for her socks sometimes.
Has a strap. And then this is what comes with it and shows you who made the bag for you.
I love that.
Shows the artist is Maureen Hudson. I'm not going to butcher the rest of that. But it's by, I'm going to go with Yijan.com. Yijan.
We'll have that link down below.
Yeah.
And a little map of where it was located in Australia.
Map on the back. So yes,
super,
very, very
super
nice.
cool. So again, this is Yarns by the Bay. Look how cute that card is.
So definitely check
that.
out their
please
shop
do that.
and Instagram.
It's so nice to like be able to like, you know, see yarns and different things from, you know, different areas. I love that.
And then we got a nice little package from Naomi, who is a neighbor of ours. This beautiful
It's gorgeous.
bag.
I love the fall, guys.
I know. Faith, family, friends, autumn blessings, apple cider. Very well made bag.
Where's the bag from?
Hold on, I'm looking to see. Wait, is it? Oh. Sunny Craft bags.
Ooh, we'll look them up and see if we can link them.
And then in the bag came a bag of candy. But here, in this bag,
So good.
you have a little, so inside you can see you have like a little pouch there.
Look at the
and
ring.
Then 3 things here, 2, and then you have a
I
ring.
didn't look at that really well.
Right? You could put some stitch markers here on this ring.
Yes.
Also has another little strap with a D ring on it. So nice one. And then some
Ooh.
yarn.
Oh, it's interfaced very well,
Yeah.
so it'll stand up on
And
its
then
own.
some yarn from Yarn Matters.
I'd never
and
heard of
they-
Yarn Matters before.
Yarn Matters is out of Williamsburg, Virginia.
I love that.
So this is an 8515 fingering weight. This one is called Seaside, and it also has a nice acrylic stitch marker.
And this is the same yarn base, and this is in Sour Apple.
That's a very nice color.
Isn't that so
Yeah.
nice?
So
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
very
That
much,
was
Naomi.
so sweet.
Yes, very nice.
Is that Vermont?
No, it would
Virginia?
be Virginia, where the stores, the dyer's located, right?
I didn't do very well in geography.
So I think that's all, right? Is that everything? Is that the owl post?
That is the owl post, and then
Okay.
we had the going gnome. So remember,
Yes.
we're doing that prize thing, majigger,
Okay, and then up next is Breaking the Bank, and we have 2 things.
and they're both clubs.
They're both clubs.
We did very well with not purchasing any extras.
No, the only other thing that came is yarn that I purchased when we were at Skeins.
Correct.
But it arrived. So
Right,
it's
but we
not
count that-
really a purchase in the
no.
last 2 weeks.
We still count that as part of the event because
It
Skein
is.
Yarn Shop was an event.
Yes, so I bought Remix Light for myself. I'm going to make an anchor sweater, but I'm going to make it short sleeve, so it's more of a summer,
Anchor tee?
like a t-shirt. I'm going to make an anchor t-shirt, but I'm going to follow the men's anchor sweater pattern and
Great.
just cut off the sleeves pretty much. All right, so we are going to show the August shipments from Woolens and Nosh and Le Garçon. So if you have not received either, because our Le Garçon just arrived like 2 days ago, so you may not have received it. Woolens and Nosh arrived
a week ago.
Okay, so
I think a week ago.
So why don't you show that?
I think
one
this
first?
is safe to show.
Yeah.
Again, this is we're part of the Yarn Club. You could choose fingering or DK, I believe. And you get a contrasting mini as well. And this is the colorway Glowbug. Ready? Oh,
it's so
good. It is so good. Now, we were originally alternating back and forth, like whose skein is what, but we lost track, so I have no idea whose this is.
Me neither.
But I want it to be mine.
Go ahead, have it be yours.
This is my skein. So this is beautiful. She does a great job with this club, and I know, you know, some people in our knit night have been getting this, and everybody is just so thrilled and excited with every month. She just completely knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
So
beautiful.
Yeah, Woolens and Nosh will be at Woolen Folk.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Did Michael already start knitting with that? I don't remember.
Yes.
I think so. Yes.
I think so too.
All right.
Yeah, so that's that.
So last is our final shipment from the mysterious
Woohoo!
Tropics Club from Le Garçon. We already received frog, flamingo. Next up is bird.
I thought it was the palm tree.
No.
Just kidding.
Bird.
Bird.
So
bird
here
is the word. It's the word.
The yarn. If you have not received it and you do not want to see it, look away in
It's
3,
very different.
2, 1. Boom. So we have Bird of Paradise, and this is green hibiscus.
That's a gorgeous color.
Here is the sticker.
I love all of this.
Your progress keeper.
Which is a hibiscus?
Yep. And the pin that accompanies it. So, very beautiful.
Yeah, it's such a great collaboration between the two of them.
I know.
And I think this color, I haven't seen Vincent do anything like this before.
It reminds me of another color, and like another dye style of his, and I don't remember which club it's from.
Yeah. It's really, really, really good. And very different than some of the other colors that we have. So I think that's super cool.
And this is the last club that they're going to do until next year.
Good.
The only other
we need a little break.
The only other thing they'll have coming out is like a holiday one where I bought it's somewhere the kit. Oh, right here. This is last year's holiday one.
Yeah.
All right. So
how'd that kit work out for you?
Fantastic.
Great.
I think it looks stunning.
It's stunning there.
Stunning.
Yeah. Next to the Thundercats.
Oh. So last up is what we've
You know what they should do? A Final Fantasy club. Wouldn't that be cool?
They should do a gaming club.
Oh my goodness.
Mysterious Gamer Club.
Oh.
And then they could do like characters from their favorite video games.
Yes.
Just saying.
Oh, guys.
Well, they
probably have things lined up for. They're so.
They probably do, but the only thing I could see like being an issue is like
trademark
and like you can't do a pin of the character. You know, like let's say they pick Cloud, you couldn't draw Cloud and sell.
He could do his own version of it.
Maybe. Okay.
I don't know. They'll have to think about it. Good luck,
Please
guys.
think about it. All right. So last up is what we've been reading and watching. Watching's actually pretty easy. We've watched 2 new to us movies, and I've started a new TV show. New to me TV show.
Yeah.
So we watched Heart of Stone on Netflix. It is a action movie with Gal Gadot and
I don't know anybody else who was in it.
Jamie Dornan.
Oh, right.
From 50 Shades of all them movies.
Yeah.
It was really good. I enjoyed it. I loved all.
I thought it was great.
I liked the concept of it.
I think she's stunning. I really think she's stunning.
I remember when she was cast as Wonder Woman, the only thing I had seen her in previously was like Fast 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, which one she was in.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it. And I totally got it in Wonder Woman. And
totally. And in this, she's great.
She's great.
I think so.
Yeah, I loved it. 100% recommend
definitely
on Netflix.
Recommend. We'll definitely watch again.
And then the second movie that we watched was called Catch a Killer.
To Catch a Killer.
I think it's just. Is it To Catch or just Catch a Killer?
To Catch a Killer.
It is on Hulu.
Yeah.
It is called To Catch a Killer.
Yeah.
It has Shailene Woodley in it. She was fantastic.
She was really good. I mean, they did a good job with her makeup too, I thought. Like, she looked very different than she does in real life.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe not.
It was
really good.
If you don't know her, like, by name, she was in Divergent. She was in Big Little Lies. It is kind of like it's a thriller. There's a lot of violence in it. So if you are not if you don't like violence, I wouldn't recommend reading it. Yeah. But it was really, really good. Like, I also kind of want to watch it again.
Because I feel like stuff happened. Like, I missed a lot happens, but the pace is really interesting because you don't realize so much is happening. Like,
as it's happening,
you realize so much has happened after you're like done going through it, and it's almost like, I don't know, it was very well done. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah, it's an old school like thriller to me. Like, it reminds me of, like, I would say like Seven and like Kiss the Girls and Basic Instinct, like those old thriller, like older thriller movies, not the newer ones. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then for TV watching, I started watching The Good Fight, which is the spin-off of The Good Wife, which I love The Good Wife. And it has Diane, the character Diane from The Good Wife is the main character in this show. And it has what's her face from Game of Thrones in it. You Know Nothing, Jon Snow. She's in it.
She's really good.
Yeah, it's a very good.
That's going to be starting soon.
Game of Thrones.
The new Game of Thrones.
Oh, House of the Dragon.
No, it's called Snow.
Snow. Oh, I don't know.
New series.
Yeah, but I don't know when any TV is going to be coming out because there's a strike. So.
Oh, true. I just saw the advertisement.
So yeah, so that's kind of what we've been watching, and then I've been watching U.S. Open tennis this week.
Yeah, I'm trying to find our show notes from last time because I can't remember if I had finished White Trash Warlock.
I didn't share it with you. I don't think.
Oh.
I will check.
So I'm currently listening to.
You had not finished it.
I didn't? Okay, so I finished White Trash Warlock by
David R. Slayton.
Yeah. I give it 3 stars. I don't know if it was just I couldn't focus on it. I did listen to it on Audible, or if I just didn't care for the narrator as much. I definitely had a hard time investing in the characters, so I really didn't
enjoy it.
I didn't understand really what was happening a lot of the time.
That's why I don't listen to books.
I love listening to books, and I usually am really good. Like the book I'm listening to right now. So a friend of ours really loved it and immediately went out and got the next 2 in the series. You liked it as well. I think it also could speak to where you are in your life at that time.
Yes.
Like, I was stressed out with school and stuff, so who knows? I'm listening to the next book in the Expeditionary Force series by R.C. Bray. Do you hear my stomach? I'm sorry, by Craig Alanson. It's narrated by R.C. Bray, who I absolutely love as a narrator. It's called Black Ops. I believe this is the 3rd one, or the 4th one. It's a great series. There's like 17 of these, and I plan on listening to every single one. I can't imagine just reading it, because I think R.C. Bray does a great job capturing the voices without it feeling like he's overacting them, if that makes sense. He does a really, really good job with Skippy. For those of you who are following the series, Skippy is probably hands down my favorite character. I love the relationship between Skippy and our main character. Absolutely love it. And so far the books have gotten 5 stars from me. And this one I think will also be getting 5 stars as well. And then I'm reading, let me pull that up because can't never remember the name of the book. I'm reading The Princess of Potential. This is by Delemhach. I don't know how to say the name. I think I had mentioned this the last podcast. So I've been reading this. I'm almost done. I've about maybe an hour left, a little less than an hour left. This is the continuation of the House Witch series, which I absolutely loved. I listened to that on Audible. This one I am just reading. So it takes place 20 years after the House Witch and Finn and all of the shenanigans that they get up to. And the main character is the king's daughter, the princess, and Finn's daughter is her best friend. So it kind of follows their children, kind of like the next saga. So I really like it. It's a little bit different than the first series, because of course it should be. But I'm really loving it, and it sounds like, so I have an hour left in the book, and I'm on like epilogue number 3. So I'm assuming that the main story is done, because it did end on like a cliffhanger, and now it's kind of giving us some backstories of how some of these characters came to be. So it sounds like it's going to be more books in the series, which is great, because I'll get on board that as well. And I think that's all I have that I've read.
So I've finished 2 books. The first book that I finished was book number 2 in the Tech Witch series by M.J. Scott. It is called Wicked Words. In that book, we continue to follow Maggie, and in book 1, Maggie discovers that she was bound to a demon. She actually has...
I may have to sneeze.
7. God bless you.
Thank you.
And all her life, she has thought that she has no magic.
Right.
She ends up having magic. In this book, it's 9 months after the events of book number 1. She no longer has access to her magic for some reason. So this is kind of discovering it, like what's going on in her life, and how her life has kind of changed. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like, oh, yay, let's go on to the next book. Sure. It was a little bit, I think it was a little bit of a letdown compared to book number 1. I do like the characters. What I was hoping for in this book is that they'd explore magic a little bit more, and we'd learn a little bit more about the like system and how it works, and you know, and there's been mention of how there's not a lot of magic users. Mm-hmm. So maybe some explanation as to how like magic came to be, if it's something that's always been around or like whatever. So I decided not to move on with that series, and I may go back to it at some point. I read reviews for book 3, and people, I think in that one, even said that there was less magic and that Maggie was less of a main character in it.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So I decided to jump into another series, and the first book in it has been on my list of books that I've wanted to read since it's been released. So I have decided to read the Red Rising trilogy.
Yeah,
well,
you love this.
It's not even a trilogy. I think now there's 7 books in it. But I read book 1, Red Rising, by Pierce Brown. It was so good. Like, it's a combination of Game of Thrones, Hunger Games, Ender's Game, maybe even a little Lord of the Flies type of thing. Our main character, Darrow, I just listened to it and I forgot how they actually said it, lives on Mars. He's a miner on Mars, mining helium-3. In the book series itself, there is a class system. Golds are at the top. They're almost like gods. Reds are at the bottom. They are almost slaves. And then there's all these colors in between. Silver, gray, pinks, purples, blues, whites. I think orange.
Yeah.
But there's also a revolution or a rebellion happening, and Darrow is recruited for this rebellion. So it's almost like Katniss type of thing. it's just so good. It's so hard to describe it without giving it away because it's kind of YA, but not. Because he's 16 when the book starts. He's 18 by the time the book ends. So it changes. It's sci-fi, but it's not. It's more, it takes place in the future. Humanity has colonized almost every planet and moon that there is. And there's a lot of political stuff that happens. The first 3 chapters, I think, were hard to get through, but then something happened. And after that, I'm like, oh, what the hell's happening? And now you know what the end game is. So it's just making the rest of it, like, how are we getting here? Like, we're way over here, but how are we going to get to this point? So book 1, fantastic. Book 2, I just started. It's called Golden Sun. This is taking place 2 years after the events of book 1. So now another thing just like happened last night and you're like, what the hell is going to happen here?
I love books like that. Like when you're so into them, you know?
It's so good.
Yeah.
So highly recommend. And if you haven't read it, highly recommend if you like fantasy. If you have read it, I just want to know, like, is it worth it? Am I going to enjoy the entire series?
If you're enjoying it so far, then
so
it's
leave a
worth
comment
it, you
if
know?
you've read the series and if you're right there with me.
Yeah.
And ladies and gents, I believe that is it.
That's a wrap.
Thank you for sticking around for the past 2 hours and 6
Yes.
minutes if you have.
Remember, use the word gnome, Gnome,
to get that prize.
to get that prize if you're interested.
Also comment if you are going to Brooklyn General for the
Yeah.
end of the Hoagie Summer Cal with mYak on September 30th. We still will, I think by the next podcast, we'll let you know like times and stuff and all the deets. And I believe that's it, guys.
I think that's
so we
it
will.
as well. This was fun. This was a lot.
See you in 2 weeks, and we hope that you guys have a good fortnight. Bye,
Bye.
y'all.